Looking to unearth answers for the descendants of the Tulsa Race Massacre victims. A search getting underway today at Oaklawn Cemetery, exhuming more than a dozen bodies in an attempt to gather DNA to identify the remains. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brenna Rose. Researchers from across the nation are involved in the bid to gather more DNA to possibly identify the remains found in Oaklawn Cemetery. It's believed that between 75 and 300 people were killed in 1921 when Black Wall Street was destroyed. As Mckenzie Richmond reports, there's also a search to find potentially other victims.
Crews have been out here at Oaklawn Cemetery since early this morning, prepping the second excavation site. According to Mayor Bynum, this is the only site in the entire city of Tulsa that actually has records and news reports stating that there are victims of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre buried right here. So they're back in hopes of finding these victims. Last summer's first excavation at Oaklawn Cemetery found the remains of 19 undocumented people buried in an unmarked mass grave. Today, the question remains, who are these people?
And the reality is, with the nature of this, trying to find people who were deliberately hidden over a century ago after they were murdered is incredibly challenging.
Though chairman of the mass graves investigation, Kevin Ross, says this search will begin to find answers. First, crews will gather additional DNA samples from the original 19 unidentified remains to ensure it's viable.
This is a very difficult science in that you just really can't tell when you take a sample whether it's going to be preserved or if degradation has affected it.
Then experts will move south and west of last year's excavation block to further excavate a new area in the cemetery. If successful, the DNA gathered when compared with the DNA of relatives of victims could prove if this is in fact a mass grave from the 1921 massacre victims. Beginning tomorrow, crews will be out here starting at 7 in the morning and ending at 4 every weekday and some Saturdays until the excavation is completed. Officials are expecting the excavation to be completed by November 18th. However, forensic work and the reburial will likely occur after that time. Reporting from Midtown, Mckenzie Richmond, News Channel 8.